Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, Anita Finley.
So now, my favorite and yours, Nicole Andrews, who is just such a dynamite, wonderful, wonderful woman. And she's been talking to me for a while about something that's called detoxing. And, you know, it sounds a little scary, Nicole. What is the complete detox all about?
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me, Anita. It's always so much fun to be here.
It's great. I'm getting my camera to take a picture of your beautiful self.
Great. Thank you. You know, the detox is such a scary word for a lot of people because they think, you know, they don't have to eat food and, oh my goodness, I'm not going to eat any food for a couple days and I don't know if I can do that, or I have to go get a colonic for a week, or, you know, there's so much stigmatism around detox, and it's really not. It's something that today's day and age that we all should engage in, but I wanted to bring it up because we have to know what the correct way to detox is, and there's something that I developed called the Complete Detox Program, and it's basically a 2-week program. There's a lot of companies out there with little kits and such that you can get at Whole Foods, but like I mentioned on previous shows, it's important to get pharmaceutical grade supplements because not all supplements are equal, and you can get hurt from unclean supplements or supplements that aren't as regulated as possible. Nothing's FDA approved, but there's a lot of standards that they have to be held by. So,
well, Dr. Messia just popped in. We're going to ignore him. Where he looks so gorgeous, doesn't he? Oh my God, he is so
Surprise!
great. Isn't he? Surprise! Surprise! Look how wonderful he looks. Okay, we're talking about detoxing. He's one big detoxer, isn't he?
Yes. Always drinking.
I need detoxing.
Always drinking a green drink. So basically, I broke it down,
Right.
And instead of it being like a juice that you drink all the time, there's a pharmaceutical grade kit, and there's a lot of them out there, but there's 2-week and 4-week, and it basically comes with like a little pamphlet that tells you a little bit, but there's so much missing in programs like that. Support, because you don't know if you're doing it right. You could be taking medications that can have an effect. You know, it can metabolize them quicker, so you have to be so careful with what you're doing. So the support was missing, and also recipes, what to eat, because people think, I'm on detox, I'm not going to eat. And that's not good because you need protein to actually detox. Actually is a really important part. And it's a very complex system. You know, there's in the liver, it's phase 1, phase 2, and they're heavily nutrient dependent processes. So, and they have to be supported by the right nutrition. So some people think, I'm just going to drink juice for 3 days and detox. Well, that's all fine and good if it's organic, cold pressed, but it's not a detox. It's a fast. You're just giving the digestive system a break. You're not eating gluten and sugar and like all these foods that are toxic for a lot of people and most of us. But it's not necessarily like a true detox. A true detox is supported with, like I said, the right nutrition that's usually packaged in detox supplements from pharmaceutical grade companies. And there's also shakes that are low allergy potential shakes, rice or pea protein, and a whole list of foods you need to avoid. Like you have to follow the elimination diet. And that means that you're not eating gluten, dairy, soy, corn, shellfish, peanuts. There's one more in there. There's 7. But it lowers inflammation when you're on the elimination diet. So with the combination of the elimination diet and the supplements and low stress and you're
well, that's what I was going to ask you. So if you are working, can you go on that kind of a regime without losing your energy?
Sure. Dr. Mencia has seen me on multiple detoxes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm on a detox. I can't have coffee or whatever it is. And I mean, I've even had, because a lot of people, that's like a big topic right there, because of coffee, I can't have coffee.
Right.
You know, because that's a staple in so many people's diet. But I've had like a nurse that's done the program, and she's like, Nicole, I wake up for surgery at like 4 a.m. Like I have to. And I'm like, look, if you go from like having like 4 cups a day to a half a cup black, you're not putting sugar and cow's milk in it, that's great. Like it's still not, you know, it's better if you avoid it if you can, but And after the first couple days, your body starts to rejuvenate and you feel better. You feel more energy on its own versus the fake energy. But she, she did it with a quarter cup, half cup of coffee, and she still did
what
great.
I like about this is, of course, because you work at the AGI Medical and Dental Centers,
Right.
It's all under an umbrella. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you said you go to a health food store, you see this says this.
Exactly.
You take it, and then you could do something that's totally really bad for you,
right?
Because Dr. Mencia knows, and you work so closely with him, what medication you're on and what could be dangerous. Isn't that correct?
And that's usually what we do when the patient come to me and they say, "Oh, Nicole, put me on a detox program." I say, "Okay, let's go over your medication and let's see how we're going to rearrange things so that you can go through the whole process and make sure that we are doing no harm." And the patient probably will go through the whole program. And like Nicole said, the most important part is the support system. You go through any detox program that you get through the internet, and if you don't have the support system to help you out, what do I do with this pill or that pill? At least with us, you don't have to go to a doctor that doesn't know the dietitian. Right. We both know each other. We both respect and admire each other.
Well, Dr. Mencia, let me ask you though a question. Have you ever been into a detox?
Yeah, my
yourself?
Mother used to. But that was way back when, and it was
and
known
what
as.
was that at the time? What was a detox?
Like Nicole said, I think my mother would misunderstand detox with fasting, and it have really progressed now. Nowadays.
And that's the thing is that before. I hear people say, we never had a detox when I was younger. What is this all about, detox? And now, it's a different world we live in because you look at the world 50, some years ago, 60, we didn't have the crazy stuff that's going on with the food supply. We didn't have the genetically modified foods, all the pesticide load that's on the food. We didn't have all these chemicals coming in from every single thing we can imagine, from our plastics to our beauty care products. There's so much that we're bombarded with in today's day and age. And then you look at our lifestyle, how we eat, and the empty calorie foods and the fast pace we're living. Our bodies just have such a high need in order to detoxify properly. Way back when, we were doing that fine, and a fast would have been great. But nowadays, what happens is, and why we need to detox is because our cells start to lose their function without the proper nutrients and with the toxic burden that's always put on the cells, so that it starts to slow down. And that's when the symptoms start to appear, like, headaches all the time, or digestive problems, or fatigue, or skin rashes, or, just things that are just kind of like unexplained, that just pop up.
Well, what if people don't have those problems? Is it still good to go into a detoxification?
Sure. I think it's good because your body still can help to expel, because all those toxins that we get in every day, it's not that maybe you don't exhibit symptoms, but you don't have them stored in your body, because what happens is they're stored in our fat in our brain. So they're stored there. So when you do a detox program, it's upregulating them, and it's transferring them into water-soluble compounds so they can be excreted. And it's a good preventative
Exactly.
measure to take with your body to do. Like I said, maybe if you don't have symptoms, you just do one twice a year, maybe after the holidays, and then during the summer.
How much time do you have to give to a detoxification?
Well, like I said, there's different programs out there. The one I like is 2 weeks. And so I think it's doable for most people because it's not too long. It's not too short. And then the first week, we go over how to properly prepare for it, because a lot of people, they eat, the standard American diet, sandwiches and coffee and cream and sugar. And if you go cold turkey off these things, you can get really sick, or just you'll feel really bad and then want to go back to them because you feel so bad. So you have to slowly wean them down and out from your diet.
Interesting.
Prepare, start to buy almond milk instead of cow's milk, start to wean down your coffee so you don't get a headache for 3 days. And then week 2 and 3, you're ready to embark on the program. And then week 3, you're reintroducing the foods, so you're testing because oftentimes you can't identify a toxic food trigger until it's taken out of your body completely. And then when you reintroduce it, like for me, it was corn. And when I reintroduced corn, because I've done them like 10 years, I've done detoxes, but I never really did it the right way afterward. I would just, start eating again, and then I would
do it for a few days.
Feel pretty bad, quickly thereafter. And then I'm like, I'm going to do it right this time. So when I finally did do it right, I incorporated back, corn was one of them, and that you incorporate, you eat it for like a day, and then you wait a day, and then you try another. Well, my skin was like completely itchy and on fire, and I never noticed that extreme before until I incorporated it. I had some
because it was out of your system.
It was out of my system, and so that I identified that as one of my toxic food triggers. So now I try to avoid it, and when I have it, I have a little spot on my leg. I just can't stop itching. It's not bad. It's not like a huge thing, but
so let's go into gluten. Are you able to tell if people are allergic to gluten on your process?
That's a good way to tell, is take it out of the diet completely for 2 weeks or so, and then add it back in. I don't recommend adding it back in because there's so much things attached with gluten. It's been shown to cause gut permeability even in healthy people over time. Because of the way it's hybridized now. But it's America, so they want to eat their sandwich, we'll try it. Try to see how you feel.
Can people then just get off gluten forever?
And I have a friend, she eats healthy, but she eats like rich food, so she really loved her Italian bread, or her husband's Italian, and she introduced it, and she doesn't have it a lot, and she said, Nicole, I actually feel fine, like there was nothing that happened. And I said, great, because she has it occasionally, and it's maybe a different bread. If it's imported flour from Italy, they don't do a lot of the things in European countries that we do, and to our food supply.
Getting to you, Dr. Mencia, because I knew you would be coming in. Has this been a dream for you to have a nutritionist?
Oh, absolutely.
As part of your practice?
Absolutely.
Why?
When we are trying to do preventive medicine, people look in general, let me look at my skin, let me see if I have any skin lesion, let me make sure I don't have any chest pain, any shortness of breath. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, I saw a new patient, and Nicole was at the office seeing patient, and I say, I'm going to put you with a dietitian, but I'm not going to squeeze you in today because I want her to spend a whole hour with you. And it's a person that have shortness of breath, young lady, very successful in her business. And she has this shortness of breath, and they put her on different inhaler thinking that she have emphysema. She never smoked. She has no history of asthma. And we are talking and talking. I say, I cannot put the dots together. And we are talking. She say, and almost when I'm walking out of the room, I say, oh, by the way, about 10 years ago, they worked me off for celiac disease.
Celiac disease.
But I came negative. I said, what do you mean? Well, I went to the gastroenterologist and they worked me off for celiac. I said, I need you to see my dietitian then. So I explained to her, because she said, no, I don't have celiac. I said, well, it's a whole spectrum that we go through. And you can have a gluten intolerance. And, just like I can have one, and we can be a different size of that spectrum. And when you have celiac, that's a full-blown condition. But we all can have intolerance to gluten, and we live with it. We say, oh, that's my norm. This is just me.
Right.
But would that cause shortness of breath?
Well, if you look at the allergy and the intolerance, allergy in the gut can affect also in the lungs. So once you say, well, I could have allergy to, I could be intolerant to gluten, you could be intolerant to other things. So we are doing a full panel allergy testing that she never had done. And then when she told me about celiac, I said, well, you're going to see the dietitian, and you have to let her know about the shortness of breath, because that's when the whole team come together. Because she might think of something with regard to her shortness of breath and her GI condition that are tied together. And if it's, let's say, like Nicole say, it's corn, and then we talk about target organ. Corn on you can give you diarrhea, and corn on Nicole can give her skin rash. So if the target organ can be any organ, or how it manifests.
When you talk about corn, you talk about corn in the cob or things that have corn in it?
Both.
Oh.
Yeah. Every corn, every aspect of corn.
And I tell you,
different for everybody.
You know, in my Taekwondo teaching, I recall once having some Korean, and they are basically vegetarian and they will eat fish. And they are great cook. So they came to my house. They stayed with me from South Korea, very little English. So I got to practice my Korean a lot. And they came and they stay in the house with me, and they say, you know, can we cook, master? I say, oh, sure, I love that.
Please do.
So they will cook every day.
We're going over.
We will go to the Korean store and buy all the vegetable and everything, and they will cook. And every day I would just eat food with them, right? They will wait for me so that we eat like a family, which is the Korean tradition. Best. And they stayed with me for a month and a half. And after they left, I said, I went to give a lecture, and I said, do you want fish? I said, no, let me have a steak. And you know, I couldn't eat it.
Really?
I couldn't eat it. I saw that it looked so, my body, when I started eating my steak, and it looked so good. Yeah, but my body was like rejecting. I just ate a little bit and went back to my vegetable.
Right.
I couldn't eat all the bread that was on the table. So, you know.
Our bodies change over time. Something that, you know, you can tolerate in the past, especially like the cleaner your body gets. And, you know, I found over the years as I've changed things, healthier, you know, and just because that's how change works. You don't change everything over time. And that's why I hate the word dietitian, because it has the word diet in it. And I prefer nutritionist now.
Nutritionist, okay.
It doesn't have, but nutritionist, like we said, everybody can call themselves anybody, but dietitian has to go through formal training for nutrition. But
how about food specialist?
Food specialist, yeah. I mean, like, because I don't like diet is a 4-letter word. I mean, I tell people right away, I am not going to put you on a diet. I'm not going to hand you a diet. It's more about function in the body. You know, what's going on with you, what you're doing now, you know, what your goals are, and what's, you know, how we can identify that. It's more like an investigator.
You know, Nicole, of course, Dr. Mencia is going to be one of our wonderful distinguished speakers, as you are, at the upcoming Cure Symposium. But why don't we kind of tease people with what your presentation is going to be, because it's going to be very exciting. She just brought it into me today, and what we're going to do, which is very unusual. It's not on detoxing. It's really on how to eat, right?
It is. It's actually...
Tell a little everybody, because they're going to be so excited about hearing this.
Well, I thought a good topic would be... how healthy is your diet? Everyday foods that may be making or breaking your health, and even weight loss efforts, you know. So there are 3 categories I broke it down into, and the first one is sugar. So first, you know, probably go over the standard American diet and talk about what the definition of that is, because it's actually termed the sad diet. Ooh, it's so sad, because the standard American diet is full of sugar and trans fats and processed foods. Not good. So then, and compared to more of a whole foods based diet, not that you have to go shop at Whole Foods, but you know, that it's more wholesome. And then, 3 categories really eliminate how to, you know, everyday foods that we are eating and how that adds up in terms of sugar and how sugar harms the body. Also, you know, thinking out of the box and out of the bag, and how much our diet comes from processed foods and different ingredients in there that may be making you sick, or maybe, like I said, inhibiting your weight loss efforts. And then also, how healthy are the fats in your diet? And so we'll go over, like, because fat's got a bad rap, you know, so we'll go over what's good fat, what's bad fat, and why it's important to have the healthy fats in your diet, and then all the while showing like everyday products that people consume, and then healthier alternatives. So we'll have a lot of goodies out on the table to show and talk about.
That's going to be very exciting, isn't it?
All the good fat is the fat that I have.
The good fat. Well, it's
I may have body fat, but it's all good.
It's interesting.
I have one of the listeners that came to see me as a patient.
Yes.
And, and she came and she looked at me.
She just wanted to see what you look like.
Yeah, she said, like,
course.
are you Dr. Mencia? I said, yes. I said, well, the voice I recognize, but you're the one on the radio. I said, yes. With Anita, yes. And she goes, well, I imagine you like a very heavy-set guy.
Really?
I say, really? I'm always talking about health and this and that.
Sumo wrestler.
Yeah, like a sumo wrestler. I say, let me go back and put on my Michelin uniform now.
It's the deep voice.
So did you do good with her?
Oh, yeah, she loves
Thank
me.
you for
She will,
going.
yeah. Thank you, yeah.
But I was thinking about that because I grew up in Miami, and of course we had avocado trees, we had grapefruit trees, we had a lot of those things,
nice.
and that's how my mother would go outside, pick all those things, and then years ago I used to take seeds and sprout them. So I had all the kinds of things. I haven't been doing that for a long time, but Dr. Mencia, you don't know this, but when Nicole came in, I committed that I'm going to go and start working with her.
Yay.
Good.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so I
Bravo.
can now be your emissary. I want to do it for my own health,
Yeah.
but I want to
Wonderful.
do this with her. So we'll do the detox and we'll do everything. And so we
Beautiful.
have a lot to talk
Exciting.
about
Beautiful,
now. I'm so
beautiful.
excited
Good.
about this.
Excellent.
And then I
Excellent.
said to her that it's hard for me to believe that it's like having a spa going to you, that I'm on Medicare and that I can also, because it's worth it enough I would even actually pay because I want to do this. But now the fact she said, well, if you're on Medicare, it's all part of your watching over me with everything else.
Exactly.
So that's a very exciting thing, Dr. Mencia.
And when it comes to the food specialists, the dietitians, I love dietitian because nutrition is sort of like putting her down a couple of notch. She's a top notch. So
Thank you.
I'm getting now I want to ask you a question, Nicole. You were going to be on for half an hour. Do you mind if she stays with
she
your
can stay.
class?
Yeah.
So can you
Wow.
stay an extra
Of
half an
course
hour?
I
Okay,
can
well, we're
stay.
going to stop.
It's
Everyone,
early.
hold on. We're going to be back. Remember,
Team, don't go anywhere. We're
right,
gonna hold
if
her
you
here.
want to go there this morning
My
to go
family's
see,
sleeping.
right, you can go in there to them. They are there in Fort Lauderdale, and you can call for an appointment at 954-489-1345.